No more hiding tears. No more covering scars. You are welcome. Holy welcome. You are welcome here. Just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome. Holy welcome. Holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears. No more covering scars. You are welcome. Holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome. Holy welcome. Holy welcome. There's something in the air, the dream of life in love, with minds that rest in prayer, sparking joy we're in awe. No matter where your path has been or time has somehow flies, like souls will come home again, true friendship ever thrives. Is this where the magic happens? Can you feel the hearts revealed right now in you and me? The secret is wherever we are. There's something in a smile that can turn a day around. Moments so worthwhile when we find common ground. No matter what the day might bring, right here we can align, knowing that we will be seen as perfect, whole, divine. This is where the magic happens. Let's feel all the hearts, close to me and me to you. The secret is wherever we are. So meet me where the magic happens, feeling all the hearts ignited now in you and me. The secret is wherever. The secret is whenever. The secret is together we are.
Good morning. Welcome to Where the Magic Happens. Thank you for that song, Shay. We miss your personage, but I'm so glad that we get to still hear your music. Welcome to Centers for Spiritual Living, St. George. We are an open, loving, and inclusive community that supports thinking creatively and living a deeply spiritual life. I'd love to share our purpose with you that the leadership worked on this last couple years. It's been a glorious journey. Our purpose is to teach, to love, to teach, guide, and support a spiritual community in creating and living a life they love using science of mind and spirit, principles, and practices. And our vision is that CSL St. George is a community-focused center actively living, sharing, and nurturing its members and friends so that all may live their best lives. That's a great vision, I think. We're really excited about the work that we've done in laying the groundwork for this new chapter here at St. George CSL. All right. I'm going to share with you right now our service team for the day. In the back is Bill Smith, one of our practitioners who is doing our teching for the day. I didn't introduce myself. I'm Marina Anderson, and I am your host for today. Our friend Alan Stanley is again doing the music for us, which will be a delight. If you have not heard him before, you will soon find out. Our invocation will be provided by Stephanie Sterrett, another of our practitioners. And we have a reading today by someone you have not seen on screen before. Our friend and member, Anna Kanata, has done some work to find the perfect reading for today. And we are so excited to have her here for the first time. She's motivated to serve our community, and we're so happy that she has chosen this way to step forward and be a part of the team. So we'll look forward to that. And of course, our senior minister, Reverend Joe Kovach, will be here giving us our message for the week. So it'll be grand. It'll be grand. So Bill will now bring up Mr. Stanley, who will provide us some music.
Hello, Marina. Good
Hey,
morning.
Alan. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. So it was suggested that I put a new picture up on what we have on file because it's not really what I look like these days. So we'll work on that unless I change my mind when the heat gets here. So we're going to sit back and be still for a moment, relax, contemplate, and Stephanie's going to come in and offer our invocation. So this is a wonderful song by Karen Drucker. And you're welcome to sing along or hum along or just be still. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment there is love. There is love. In the stillness of this moment there is love. There is love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know in the stillness of this moment there is love, sweet love, sweet love.
Thank you, Alan. I'm here to give the invocation, and for me, the invocation is an affirmative prayer. And if you're not familiar with that, it's a prayer that I speak of the truth as I know it in consciousness. And because I know there's no separation, I include everyone who's listening now or later, for there's only the present moment. And so here we go. In this moment, I know there's only one source, one God, one infinite spirit, right here and right now. And I recognize it, that I am one with that. Because I know this for myself, I know this for each and every one of us. This is an inclusive affirmation, this message today that is giving us that, yes, in this present moment, there is peace. Because in this present moment, there is an inner being within where everything is born, everything arises. This inner kingdom I call the kingdom of heaven is within, and it is the reality that I live, move, and have my being in. And because I know this for myself, I know this for each and every one of us, that this truth is real. And so I bless this service. I bless this message as it goes out into the world of form, that inside each and every one of us is this place of peace. And so I release it into a law, the law that says yes, the law that says yes to everything. And I choose this positive notion that this inside place within me is where the peace that I search for is. And so I release it into that law, knowing that that law is right behind me, saying yes to all of it. And so I release it and I let it go, as together we say yes. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. In the stillness of this moment, I feel love. I feel love. In the stillness of this moment, I feel love. I feel love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment I feel love. In the stillness of this moment I am peace. I am peace. In the stillness of this moment, I am peace, I am peace, and I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment, I am peace, I am love. I am peace, I am love, I am peace, I am love, I am peace, I am. Now I'd like to bring Anna up, and she's going to offer our reading for us today. Welcome, Anna.
Thanks, Alan. This is a poem by Jeff Foster, How to Become a Warrior. Once I ran from fear, so fear controlled me, until I learned to hold fear like a newborn, listen to it, but not give in, honor it, but not worship it. Fear could not stop me anymore. I walked with courage into the storm. I still have fear, but it does not have me. Once, I had great sadness, buried deep inside. I invited it to come out to play. I wept oceans, my tear ducts ran dry, and I found joy right there, right at the core of my sorrow. It was heartbreak that taught me how to love myself. Once I had anxiety, a mind that wouldn't stop, thoughts that wouldn't be silent. So I stopped trying to silence them, and I dropped out of the mind, into the earth, into the mud, where I was held strong like a tree, unshakable. Once anger burned in my depths. I called anger into the light of myself. I felt its shocking power. I let my heart boil and my blood pound, and I listened to it finally. And it screamed, "Respect yourself fiercely now. Speak your truth with passion. Say no when you mean no. Walk your path with courage." Anger became an honest friend, a truthful guide, a beautiful wild child. Once, loneliness cut deep. I tried to distract and numb myself, ran to people and places and things, even pretended I was happy. But soon, I could not run anymore, and I tumbled into the heart of loneliness. And I died and was reborn into an exquisite solitude and stillness that connected me to all things. So I was not lonely, but alone with all life, my heart one with all other hearts. Once, I ran from difficult feelings. Now they are my advisors, my confidants, my friends, and they all have a home in me, and they all belong and have dignity. I am sensitive, soft, and fragile, my arms wrapped around my inner children. And in my sensitivity, great power. And in my fragility, an unshakable presence. In the depths of my wounds, in what I had named darkness, I found a blazing light that guides me now in battle. I became a warrior when I turned toward myself and started listening. Thank you.
That's wonderful, Anna. Thank you. Perfect. Perfect. We're going to pick it up a little bit. This is a Sue Riley Ross. It might be her last name too, but I made my New Year's resolution, only 16 pages long. Didn't hardly make a dent of all the things I've done wrong. Hope springs eternal, and I've got a whole new year. Maybe this time I'll get through all the things I want to do, blaze a new frontier. I'm gonna move to the little, make it past the middle. All that I can guarantee is I'll get closer to the me I wanna be. I'm so full of good intentions, not so good on follow through. There's too many times to mention what a dreamer's supposed to do. It's a wonder I'm not changing after all the things I've tried. Quitting this and starting that, thinking thin and getting fat. It's time to turn the pride. I'm gonna move to the little, make it past the middle. All that I can guarantee is I'll get closer to the me that I wanna be. Only I can free myself from this spinning carousel. No more going round and round and round. I'm just gonna move a little, make it to the middle. All that I can guarantee is I'll get closer to the me I wanna be. I'm just gonna move a little, make it past the middle. All that I can guarantee is I'll get closer to the me I wanna be.
Well, that was fun, Alan. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, I just learned it yesterday. But
good job, Ben.
Yeah, we'll have it better next week.
I like it.
Thank you, Marina.
I like it. Yeah, you betcha. Thanks, Alan, so much. All right, our theme this month is from good to great to grand. And today we will be Reverend Joe will be talking about the inner landscape, and certainly the songs and Anna's reading really hit the mark on the topic today. So let us welcome Reverend Joe in. He's a coming. There we go. Hey, Reverend Joe.
Good morning.
Welcome to Cinco de Mayo.
It is Cinco de Mayo. And just if it was yesterday, May the 4th be with you.
That's right. Yes, the 4th was with me yesterday for sure.
So,
all right, take it away.
Looking great, Marina. Thank you. And we have to add in the fact, when you're introducing everybody, it just says Marina Anderson. How about CC Prez? It says it there.
Oh, well,
Council President, you're kind of a big thing.
Oh, well, thank you for that. I appreciate being seen that way.
Well, we thank you.
Okay.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday, and it's May. I feel like we were just doing holiday service, and it's from winter, Christmas, and it's May. Cinco de Mayo. It's a brand new month. But before we start the brand new month, I do want to thank Eugene Holden, our practitioner, for stepping in as our guest speaker last week. He's been supporting our center for a long time, and it's really nice for me to have somebody step in that we trust and does such a great job, so I can have a week off and keep those creative juices flowing. So thank you, Eugene. We'll be seeing you later this month too, so that'll be awesome. And I do want to point out, wow, what a not even just a reading, but a full production. Anna Kanata is one of our members who has fully supports us with her time and talent and tithe, and is reaping the benefits. And that's what we love to see. People not just tuning in and listening, which is okay, but if you really want to expand your life, to get the most out of life, because when we talk about infinite, obviously it's kind of hard for our minds to wrap around that, but more and more and more is available, and that's not ego. It's you're taking in and understanding and expressing and feeling more of what we call God, or just life. So great job, Anna. Well done. Love the new songs. We're kicking this today so far. So as you heard Marina mention, this month's a theme, which is good, great to grand, which goes along with our annual theme of a grand rising. And so we're going to take a look at that today. And what does that mean? And we're going to talk about a couple processes, self-actualization, and I'm going to throw in there self-realization. Well, and I'll explain those in a little bit. And today, specifically with our talk title, which is the inner landscape. And to me, that's that science of mind, right? Is going in and understanding this inner part that we have. Because if all we live is by recognizing the outside and never do any work on the inside, the outside's really, it might change a little form, but in the end, the feelings that we have with where we're living or what we're doing is not going to change. So we're going to explore the inner landscape in three distinct areas, specifically looking at observation, curiosity, and self-discovery, because these are essential elements with regards to self-actualization and self-realization. So this is our starting point. And as we begin, we're going to talk about this first point of observation, observing, right? Actively observing. So maybe not just passively looking at things, but jumping in consciously, intentfully. And why? Because in the end, we're going to find out that we gain greater insights, awarenesses to our thoughts, our emotions, what we really believe, the values that we hold as important, or as I like to say, why do we do what we do the way we do it, right? Because that's like, in the end, I'm watching this. Why do I do that way, or at that time, or every time this happens? And it begins with observing ourselves. As Ernest Holmes talks about this idea of self-discovery, he says, the road to self-discovery often calls for the clearing away of the underbrush of ignorance, fear, superstition, and a sense of isolation, which has made us feel that we were unworthy, unheld, and lost. In the divine providence of good, salvation is unnecessary, but self-discovery is essential. We do not save that which was lost. We merely discover that which needs to be found. It's a great quote. What we're talking about here, and like unpackaging this quote alone, he's talking about, in a lot of other faiths, we feel like we need to be saved, in essence, by something outside of ourselves. And while there are things that are outside of ourselves that may assist us in discovering this gold, this natural spirit of who and what we are, that power is not it. I mean, we have to recognize. So the only way to be saved is to save ourselves, in the sense of recognizing that we're already perfect, whole, and complete. And we are already one with that life, with the Creator, with Source, with the universe. But we have to, it's up to us, in essence, on this journey to find it. Some call it the hero's journey. So and he mentions in the beginning of this idea that we have to move through fear and superstitions and feeling like we're doing this all by ourselves. And this is where Anna's poem lined up perfectly with the talk today, because it's, as much as we can read and go on the outside and listen to these inspirational people, if something inspires us, what that is simply doing is allowing us to put light on, shine light on the truth that is already there and present. And we're going, oh yes, I remember that. So observation, it's a simple, but it's a transformative practice. For both self-actualization and self-realization. Now, I've said this like 3 times now, so I want to break it down a little bit. I'm not doing slides for these because in the end, there's no test. But self-actualization is often confused with self-realization. So self-actualization, which is a psychological term, more or less by Abraham Maslow and Carl Jung, self-actualization focuses on basically achieving personal growth and becoming the best that you can be, right? So that's on the outside. Like, how can I get to this point to where I'm living on the outside, focus on the outside? I have a great career. I have this and that and that. And it's more achieved through external factors, again, such as education or career development or our own creative pursuits. Okay, that's self-actualization. Now, self-realization is focused on discovering our true nature. Okay, achieving that state of being where we're fully aware of our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions and how they align. And this is achieved through the inner landscape, through internal factors, through practices like meditation, introspection, self-reflection. Okay, so both of these are important. It's not one or the other, but I think the term self-actualization is often misused in the sense of self-realization. And I do want to say that these simplistic definitions I borrowed from Vineet and Ananda. So give credit to where credit is due. So going back to Ernest Holmes, we're not fixing or even healing a broken self. That's not what we're observing. We're using observation to become aware of our whole, perfect, and awesome self. So now if we notice along the way that things are like, I'm not seeing it that way, again, we go within. And this really should be a wonder, a journey of wonder, a journey of awesomeness, magnificence. As Ernest Holmes says, why is this important? He says, you are spontaneous. You are a spontaneous, self-choosing center of life. You can just stop there if you wanted to. And he goes on, a self-choosing center of life in the great drama of being, the great joy of becoming, the certainty of external expansion. Whoa, what does that mean? And I like to talk about things so that a child can understand. You're amazing. That's what he's saying. We are all that God is. We're not a drop. What is it? A drop in the ocean. The ocean is all within this drop, right? Everything that God is, everything that we believe is open to us and can be expressed through us because there's nothing outside of God. Okay. If it was God and us, then there's two. It's not that way. So not only are we in the drama of being, right? Now that's our state of being, how we're feeling, how we're thinking, how we're aligned. And the joy of becoming, meaning continually expressing new and creative ways that feel freer and fuller, are higher aligned with higher consciousness, so to speak. And recognizing that we're always this external expansion, we're always change is constant. Okay, changing in essence our view, our state of feeling, and so forth. But we do this within what we call the changeless, which is spirit, because spirit is infinite. We're doing this all in and as the divine. So why is observation important? Because observation obviously leads to awareness, right? Both inner and outer awareness, right? So while we're looking at ourselves on the inside, we're looking at our thoughts, our emotions, pains, desires. This observation, when we're going within and looking on the inside, and becoming aware of our state of being, right? And this helps if we allow it to, and look at it with a grounding intention, meaning grounded in faith and in spirit. Then we're looking at it to empower ourselves, to remind ourselves, all right, I'm perfect, whole, and complete. I am the divine in physical form. I'm not feeling that way. That's a good awareness, because awareness is the key to change. Can't change something I'm not aware of. All right, so now this allows me to do a practice and shift my thoughts from these limiting thoughts and expressions to ones that are absolutely life-affirming, expansive. And of course, the benefit of that is feeling free, feeling like we are actually co-creating a divine life. Now, the outer awareness is still important, right? This is the how am I showing up in the world? Meaning if I'm feeling good, I'm feeling aligned, I'm saying I'm perfect, whole, and complete, what are the results, right? So this, I know we're talking about the inner landscape, but if the outer is always going to match the inner. So simple questions like, if I'm saying I'm feeling better, I'm surrounding myself with positivity and peace, well, am I paying attention to the crowd and the people I'm hanging with? Am I paying attention to the last week we talked about social media, right? And what I'm feeding myself. And at the same time, am I supporting my own success? Am I doing on the outside things that are going to support the change that I am wanting to see, that we are wanting to see? Because you deserve it. You deserve the best. That's what this whole philosophy is, to recognize it's here and we get to choose, and that there's a way. So awareness leads us from being what we call unconscious to being conscious. Now, we're not talking about unconscious in the sense of physically knocked out, but unconscious meaning unaware. Like we're creating by default. We're just doing things because we used to do them and we don't even know why we do them. That's unconscious. But observation leads us to consciousness, to awareness, to what is happening in this now moment. And this heightened awareness enables us to make conscious choices that are aligned with the actions that will lead us to the place that we want to be, the dream that we're holding in our hearts and in our minds. Whether it's buying a home for the first time, whether it's getting that perfect job, whether it's just getting a salary raise and aligning to a new level of prosperity, or finding our perfect mate, or fill in the blank, recognizing our bodies as absolutely healthy, that there's nothing on the outside of our bodies that could bring us down unless we align to it. So consciousness and being consciousness, meaning the being part of it, coming from, this is what leads us to making conscious choices. So we become aware first, we bring ourselves from being unconscious, unaware, to conscious, and then to making conscious decisions based on positive things, our own observations, which again leads to a higher version of the vision that we hold for ourselves. Okay, so are we observing that? Do we even start? Do we have a vision for ourselves? That's something to observe anyway. If we don't, and we don't claim one, then basically our vision for ourselves is what we see. Right? So this idea of observation helps us feel more fulfilled, because sometimes we don't recognize our own success. As a school counselor, there's a lot of times often where I'll pull in a student, and because I don't think they realize how far they've come. They're just looking at what's left all the time, and we do that a lot. Society reminds us of that a lot. I did X, Y, and Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I only have 3 letters to go. Oh, but I got 3 letters to go. And sometimes I have to help support people going, pause. Look at what you've done. You wouldn't even be where you are if we don't recognize what's going on. You've done this. So you've got this. This is the last part. This is the easy part. And this is about setting yourselves up for success. So Ernest Holmes, to support this, says, I know that God is within me, and I know that this divine spirit is perfect. I enter into its peace and am secure in a sense of its protection. Love will guide, and intelligence will direct me. The power of the infinite will sustain and uphold as well as direct. The unerring judgment of the divine intelligence directs my faith and makes perfect and plain the way before me. This is a great affirmation prayer to wake up to. We're stating it. I know that God is within me, and I know that I am divine spirit. And I know this God, this spirit is peace, poise, beauty, joy. And it's not only protecting me, it is me. It loves me. It's going to guide me. It's going to make the way easy, graceful, and trust this. So now after we're observing, observation is going to lead us to get curious. This is kind of the part 2 here. We're going to get curious about what's happening in our inner landscape. Okay. And again, observing the outside helps us understand what's going on. So it's curiosity that in essence feeds the desires, the new desires that are going to again then lead to questions, and eventually lead into the next part, which is self-discovery. So this really curiosity is a process where we're stating, we have a question, what is, and then we seek the answer. Now we can't seek it on the outside. Like if I'm like, how am I really showing up in the world? That's both an inner and outer. We can receive answers on the inside and the outside. But let's just stick to this inner landscape. As we look within, as we choose to get curious and look within, this takes an honesty, a deep level of honesty, but it gets so much fun at the same time when we just give ourselves that pause to look within and go, how do I really think, or what do I really think about, or how do I really feel about this person, this place, or even what I'm currently saying is true for me, right? And all this, the better the question, the better better result in the sense of understanding self-realization. Who really am I? Right? I'm going to individualize this in the moment. Who am I being? So curiosity is the spark that ignites our quest for greater understanding of ourselves, right? It can sometimes it gently nudges, and sometimes it's just pushing us beyond boundaries of our own comfort zone. Okay. When we begin to use this daily, really, and approach life in general with a curious mind, then what we're doing is really saying, okay, I recognize where I'm at, and I'm curious about more, and then more has to show up. So this is important in the sense of how the quality of questions that we ask. Right? So is it just what's next, or is it I'm really want to experiencing a newer job, and then get curious about that job. What does it look like? What are you getting paid? What does it feel like on the inside? When you're going to your job, does it even feel like a job? Would you almost do it for free? These kinds of questions. Ask yourself, get curious, because now life is going to answer those questions as you align to it. Right? So approaching life this way, it can be challenging. We have to be courageous to look at our own life, because it can be downright scary. But we have to, if we really want to move through change. And what holds us back is fear, and I'm sure we've all heard the acronym of FEAR, is false expectations appearing real. So what we think is happening, what could happen is going to happen, even though it hasn't happened yet, and we just stay stuck, right? And so we have to honor those feelings, but this is why we get curious. What's beyond the fear? If that's a possibility, what's another possibility? And if we understand this teaching, the one I focus on, the one I feed with my love and my attention and my own energy is the one that's going to show up. Every single time it's law. It has to. If it's not showing up, just keep feeding what you want, not what you don't want. Mary O'Malley says, and this quote was actually in our email newsletter. I love it, but because she says, true alchemy is about transforming unconsciousness into consciousness. Curiosity is where the magic happens. So magic, because without being curious, that doesn't get to the aha moment, right? Curiosity allows us to get to the place where we find meaning and fulfillment in what we do. It also, we're setting ourselves up for success by able to putting ourselves on the path to get to where we want to be. And then when we get there, that gives us drive and a perfect example to do it again. Ernest Holmes says, life waits upon our discovery of natural laws, our discovery of ourselves, and our discovery of our relationship to the great whole. So natural law, for example, is he's talking about that which we call law, meaning universal law. It's true for everyone all the time, no matter what. So what we believe in and has been proven even scientifically is that which we, again, think about, focus on, and hold within us is what shows up in our lives. We know this. Okay? You can call it law of attraction. There's also a deeper level of the law of vibration. So where we're being at, we're receiving. Okay, those are always a match. So again, he says our discovery of natural law, our discovery of ourselves. So this is going to move us into moving from curiosity to really a deeper level of self-discovery. Now, I want to put a plug in here for education, because in my belief that classes and workshops, these kinds of activities are absolutely perfect support for our curiosity, okay, and our self-discovery. They can help us gently ease us into that next phase through what we maybe are afraid of. They support us, whether we're new to the teaching or not. I'm part of this class we're doing now, Prosperity Plus 2. We have one class left. And look, I've been doing this for a long time, but it's always a perfect reminder in that because we're constantly learning, and I do this because it's our belief that we're living in a spiral. So I get something at the bottom of the spiral, and then I go to it again, and I see it from a different place because I'm not the same person. So I get a new lesson, and then I come around to it again, and I get a new lesson, and this is infinite. So continually to educate ourselves, to step in to understanding that even, I think I know myself, but we're always changing in a positive way. So again, education assists us. There's no doubt about it, right? It's a lot easier to do this in company, I feel anyway, with other people, to help hear how they're curious, and maybe their curiosity can assist me in my curiosity. And it's through this, in the end, this curiosity, especially when life is most challenging, that is going to open the doors that we thought were closed. We're going to realize they were always unlocked because it's our door. We're going to realize through that door of scary change initially is a new wisdom, new insights, a more profound spiritual understanding of truth. And we discover in the essence, and this is the joy, we discover our own magnificence. And it is a joy. We find the freedom within being ourselves. And this is discovery. And this is, when we fully embrace the process of observing and being curious, and we move into the end process of discovery, discovering something new. Who am I really? What is the truth behind all of this? And through this process of self-discovery, we're going to really end up delving in deep into ourselves. And that's not scary. That is just, there's no words to explain it. It's an inner beauty, an inner sense of peace and serenity that every time I touch it, it feels brand new. It feels better than the last time. It really does. And so we're talking about exploring and discovering our true nature. And as we get curious about that, life will unveil for us the perfect path, the perfect next step, the perfect clue, the next piece of the puzzle for us individually, leading to where we really want to be, a freer, fuller, more expanded, expansive life. And by practicing this and being in this constant state of being open and aware and curious and wanting to discover new things, we literally create new neural pathways in the brain. This is what science shows us. And so when we find something new, we get that aha moment. we begin the path. We're like building a new road, but we have to keep that energy up to finish the road. And that's where repetition comes in, doing that new thing over and over again. Again, this is where spiritual practices and education totally assist in us achieving that. Self-discovery, in essence, also is the process of recognizing, I don't want to say shining the light as if it's new. The light is always there. But in essence, for an analogy, we're shining light on the dark parts, places that we believe are dark, and opening them up to really that they're not scary. It's just a part of who I am, and accepting the all of who we are, because there's nothing outside of God, even that which we in the moment may feel shame for. It can't be God and shame out there, but shame is God going through a deep layer of filtering through our own personal issues, viewpoints, perspectives. Marcel Proust says, the real voyage of self-discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. And this is what I was trying to say, is it's not like we're seeing right now through one way, and it's like through a dirty bunch of screens over a beautiful window, but we can't see out it. Okay, and until we go in and we start removing and cleansing, that's what opens the doors to the windows to new possibilities. This is what leads to the feeling of being empowered and the courage to embrace new things, to take new risks, to open new doors that eventually lead to our authentic self. What does that mean? That means I'm just being me. That's it. No masks, no personas, just being the real me. And every now and then we give ourselves that time. Last weekend, I had a time where I think it was last week or the weekend before, where I had to sleep. I just kept sleeping. I slept 12 hours. I was up for a little while, and I went back to bed in the middle of the day for 4 hours, and my soul was resting. That's the best way I can say it. It wasn't like I felt sick, but I just needed to rest. And when I woke up, I was just in this place of being. There was no monkey mind. There was no attachments. My son kind of looked at me. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I go, "Yeah, this is just me being me without all the hoopla." And that to me is the authentic self. Now, it doesn't mean that it's a place of non-emotion or anything. I was feeling, but it was just not on everybody else's and the outside terms. I was really on the inner landscape and being from that. Now, one of the things that tend to bottle us up as we bring this to a close is we stop because we're not sure of every single step. We're not certain, and when times are uncertain, we generally tend to become afraid and go, "Well, I'm not sure, so I'm not doing it." There's a great quote to share with that by Krishnamurti. He says, "The desire to be certain, to be secure, is the beginning of bondage. It's only when the mind is not caught in the net of certainty that it is in a state of discovery." So what are we saying is okay, I know, how do we tackle this? How do I do self-discovery when I'm not sure what's next? Well, part of that is faith and understanding that we are within and God is within us. So therefore, why would we purposely do anything to hurt us? Right? So that life is ever supporting us gracefully. And that is when we have an open mind, meaning that we're unattached to things. Because in order for me to change, I have to kind of let go of what is and hold on to what may, the feeling of what it's going to look like when I have that job. I'm not certain what the job is, but I can feel what it's like. I can feel the amazing hours. I can feel receiving the pay and being wowed and like, wow, I feel appreciative here, and so on and so forth. Right? So we have a choice. We can either have put our powers in belief of what is truth or what is because, meaning I can't do this because, and fill in the excuse after that. So I'm going to believe because it's true, and I know it's true, and I've practiced, and I've done the experimentation in my own life, and it's always worked out best. or I'm going to come up with an excuse, right? So we have to remind ourselves in the sense that it's same thoughts, same choices, same actions, same behaviors lead to the same experiences and the same feelings. So if we're going to change, the change starts within. Okay. We have to have the courage to be curious, the desire to see through what is not there, that uncertainty, and trust and know that God is. Period. God is. And if we're willing to step out into the mystery of it all, then through this process of self-discovery, we end up cultivating a much deeper, more personal connection, not only with ourselves, but in the essence, we realize that Godness, that eternalness, that infinite, I mean, it's indescribable when you feel it. And we all have felt it. I have no doubt, that we've felt it in one way or another. But living from this on a regular basis, is what we're talking about. So this week, not only do I have one, but I have two Rumi quotes, and we're going to end on these. First, he kind of draws us out, and he says, "And will you begin that long journey into yourself?" And when he says long, it's not long and arduous, it's long because you're with you all the time. And then he gives us something to think about, as always, a little wisdom. He says, when you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. And in essence, isn't that really what we're seeking? The teachings of Abraham have a saying, and I'm going to hopefully end up saying it right, but paraphrasing, but no matter what I'm doing, no matter who I'm with, no matter where I'm at, it is my dominant intention to experience joy. The heck of an affirmation. So in other words, no matter what's going on, no matter where I'm at, no matter who's in front of me, no matter what, I'm choosing to feel joy. Why? Because joy is love. Love, that energy shifts everything. Right? Are you with me? Let's take that inner journey together. All right, we're going to close with our affirmation. Well, with an affirmation, then I will close with prayer. Our affirmation for this week, here's an easy spiritual practice to help us shift. I am open and curious as I explore my own inner landscape. Right? It's easy to look at other people's inner landscape and tell them what's wrong with them because we're so smart. Pause. Let's start with ourselves. I am open and curious as I explore my own inner landscape. All right, so I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to move into prayer. I ask you to join me in just recognizing that power and presence, that energy, the essence, the one. It is only one, yet we experience it within a multitude and infinite ways through ourselves, through others, and yet it is one glorious, loving beingness, wholeness. And I recognize that there is no spot where the fullness of God cannot reach, for there is nothing outside of God. Now, our filters may be shading parts of this gloriousness that is. And so what I know to be true right now is we're lifting any belief, any dirty screen, any filters of lack, of feeling stuckness. We release this. We bless that. We understand it's an opportunity to learn from. We also know that we can also learn from being the full presence of the divine right here and right now, that we're already worthy, that we take this time daily to go within, to recognize, re-recognize how we're being in that moment, how we're showing up. Are we showing up on the outside the way we feel on the inside? Are we willing to change? Yes, we are. Are we willing to ask for help? Yes, we are. Are we willing to take classes and workshops and do things that we haven't done before to support ourselves? Yes, we are. And in essence, we come together to recognize the full presence of the I, the I am, God being, period. So I'm so grateful for this community, so grateful for this day, the ability to share what I know, the ability to hear from the community, the ability to recognize our community growing. So grateful for Anna showing up and saying, I want to support Centers for Spiritual Living St. George. I want to do something that, look, that I'm sure, I have no doubt that was scary for her. And she did it with flying colors, and she did it authentically. This is what we do here as a community. This is who we are. We support each other with love. We support each other in prayer, just like we're doing now, thinking the best thoughts, feeling the best feelings, and sharing. So let this be in our minds, let this be in our hearts, and let this be in the world. And let's close this together by saying what we know, by affirming, and so it is. Namaste.
And so it is indeed.
Indeed.
Indeed. Thank you, Reverend Joe. That was great. This was a really lovely Sunday. There's so much new music and a new reader, and
you can feel the freshness of spring, right?
I know. It's so grand. You know, I really love it when you talk about curiosity. It's certainly one of the tools in my toolbox that has been the most life-changing for me. So I appreciate you continuing to remind us about that. So, all right.
Thank you.
All right. Very good. Okay, everybody, I have a few announcements for you as usual. You know, if you're have been a part of CSL St. George, that we have some amazing practitioners who are at your beck and call to support you in prayer as a group or individually. If you need individual attention, someone would be happy to get back to you as well. So do take us up on that. Our practitioners are amazing humans who contribute greatly to our community. Don't forget, remember that our next in-person service is next week on Mother's Day. A year since we started our regular in-service. Yay, such a celebration. We're so excited. We've been doing this a year. So do come see us next week in person. Zoom conversation happens today as usual after all of our online services. The details for that are in the newsletter, on the website, on the website in a couple places in the regular link place, and also if you go to our calendar, the link is there as well. So we hope you'll join us and have a little chat with Anna and Rev Joe and the rest of us. And also, we are such an abundant and prosperous community. As you probably saw in the newsletter, we gave our quarterly tithing to the Dove Center, who does amazing work in this community. So we're grateful to you for making it possible for us to contribute to the other organizations in our little beautiful community. And as usual, you can give by Zelle, you can give by PayPal, and you can send us a check. And we get all three regularly from different folks. So it all works. Bill is going to bring us all. The next 2 Sundays will again be our beloved senior minister, Joe. And next week in person, he will be talking about the values-led life. And on the 19th, the steps we take. That will probably be a really good one. Probably very practical. Now, Bill will bring us all up to join together in doing the closing affirmation one by one. Our faces appear. Yay. All righty. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
Life is my mind, life is my body, life is all that I do.
I am it, I embrace it, and I share it.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is becoming. Thank
you.
you.
Bye. Woo! Thanks for being here, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for
Anna,
supporting
joining
us. Spread the word.
Great
See you
service.
next
Like the
Sunday.
videos. Share the videos.